Welcome to the Team Builder Leadership Institute. My name is Tony Roberts. I'm the Chief Transformation Officer for the Team Builder Leadership Institute. And I'm going to go and share some information with you. Have you ever had an employee that you wanted to help develop, maybe meet the standards, maybe they weren't reaching the standards, they didn't know how to? Have you ever noticed that a lot of leaders, what they'll do is they will tell the employee, here's what you need to do. Here's how you do it. Here's what you must do. Well, have you ever noticed that when you tell somebody what you need to do, in other words, you do this, you do that, that they really don't receive it very well, and a lot of times they don't do it, in fact, most of the time? If you really want to develop employees, you have to talk to them in a way where they want it. So this is in Chapter 3 of my book, Why to Try to Make Them Do It When You Can Make Them Want to, The Art of Influence. And as this series, I'm going on through the book. What we're going to talk about is how we actually get them to change. Okay? Now, we have a change that we're talking about somebody who's not meeting standards, who has to change their performance just to be a successful employee. So how do we do that? The first thing you have to do is teach people how to be selfish. And some of you are probably saying, Tony, you're crazy. You don't want them to be selfish. Actually, you do. Here's the thing. Selfish is different than self-centered. Self-centered is, I want what I want, but I'm willing to get it at the expense of everyone else. Selfish is, I want to become this person. See, the truth of the matter is, we can't help anybody else until we've helped ourselves. We've got to get ourselves in a position where we can help others. You can't be a philanthropist, you can't be a good leader, you can't be anybody unless you have something to give. In other words, you can't be anybody of assistance. You got to have something to help somebody with before you can actually help them. So if you want to be, let's look at leadership. If I want to teach you how to be a good leader, I have to have the skills to share with you, and I have to have the credibility where you can see me using those skills. I've got to be trustworthy. You've got to respect me. Until I've selfishly pursued those skills and abilities, I can't really help you. So in order to help somebody, you want to teach them to be selfish. You want to teach them it's okay to want things. It's okay to go after things. You want to teach them that. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing you do is when you're talking to them about the needed changes, before you have that conversation, you talk to them about, so what is it you want out of life? Why do you work here? You know, and of course, when you say why do you work here, most people are going to start out with, well, I want to get paid. And then you really want to go in a direction of them and say, no, what I mean is, how do you see your life 10, 20, 30 years from now? What kind of car do you drive? What kind of house do you have? What kind of vacations do you take? Now what the person is going to share with you is their goals and aspirations, what they want out of life. Now, for instance, let's say that the person says, well, you know, I've always wanted to have a mountain log cabin so I can go up there and hunt, and maybe when I retire, just me and the wife go up there and just spend some time. Now that you know that they want that goal, you could come back with, well, let's make a deal. I will do everything in my power to get you that log cabin quicker if you give me 100% helping this group get to these goals. And you make that agreement. And I've never had anybody not make that agreement. I was a regional vice president for a financial institution, and I had an employee one time, and he did not want to, he was an assistant manager, but he really didn't want to be a manager. He just didn't want the responsibility. So I trained him to be a good assistant manager, and we were happy, and he was meeting the performance standards. And then one day he came to me and said, Tony, I would really like to make more money. And I said, well, in order to make more money here, that means you're going to have to move up. And the next position is manager, branch manager. And he thought about it, and he said, well, I don't really want to do that. And I said, well, what do you want? And he had newly married, and he had a child, and he wanted a bigger house because they were in an apartment and it wasn't comfortable. And I said, well, so which do you want more? Do you want that house for your family, or not to be a manager? Which one do you want more? He said, well, I want the house more. So would it be worth it to add the skills and learn how to be a really good manager so you could make all the money you can make, and you can positively affect the lives of others that work with you, your assistant manager and cashiers and things? And he thought about it for a few days, and he called me and he said, Tony, I think I want you to teach me how to be a manager. I said, you think or you know? Because You're taking a position of responsibility. You'll be responsible for others. You've got to ensure that they are taken care of too. So are you willing to do that? And he said, yes, I am. And so we trained him, and he became one of my best managers ever, because it was about him. I taught him that it's okay to do this for you. Do it for you. And when you do it for you, you just commit that you're going to make sure everybody else is taken care of at the same time. So to change somebody, they've got to trust you. They've got to respect you. You've got to set the example. Then you attach the needed changes to their goals, what they want. We all as adults have that question, what's in it for me? You got to provide that. Then what you want to do is you help them in a conversation define the exact changes necessary to meet the desired standard, to get what they want. So the conversation is something like this. So what do we need to do to come out with this? And of course, this is when they say, well, I could do this. And if that's good, you say, excellent, well, you do it. But if it doesn't quite get you there, then you say, okay, so that would get you this. Is that where we need to go? And you let them lay out their path to meeting that standard, to getting that level of expertise. You show them the benefit of the change. So once you can do this, you want to get this, right? In this case, as far as the manager, once you get this, not only do you get the salary increase, but you get availability to make this much in bonus money by just simply meeting the standards. Is that going to benefit you? And of course, everybody knows the answer. If you get more money for doing the same work, absolutely. Then you get them to lay out their path. Exactly, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And it's going to give me this. And this is what I want. So when you let them lay out their path, you're not telling them what to do. You're simply having the conversation, so they're laying out the path. And then once they lay out the path, you say, so doing those things, is that goal that you have, is it worth it? Is it worth doing? And of course, if you pick the right goal, they're going to say, well, yeah, absolutely, that's what I want. So will you do it? Absolutely. So I can hold you to it, right? And I can help you reach that standard? Absolutely. And you get their permission to hold them to the standard. And now they're changing, but it was their idea. It's their path to get to their goals. If you want somebody to change, teach them how to be selfish. Teach them how to pursue what they want. Don't tell them, Tony wants you to do this, or Tony wants you to do that. Because Tony works here too. Tony, whether you change or not is irrelevant to me. What's relevant is what do you want, and my job as your leader is to help you get it and to make sure that you're doing what you need to do as far as the company and the goals. So what I will then do after we've had this conversation, and like you gave me permission to do it, I'm going to follow up and help you create those new habits so you can become the person meeting the standards and get what you want a whole lot quicker. So the key to change with people is teach them how to be selfish, pursue what they want, and you help them do it, and you'll be amazed how quickly and efficiently, with how little effort, the change comes. Thanks for talking to us at TLI. The next one will be, I'll do another one, and we're going to go deeper into developing people. We're going again through the book. Why try to make them do it when you can make them want, through The Art of Influence. It's available on Amazon. And this series, I'm just going through the book. So we're going to have another one probably in a couple of days. All right. If you need anything from the Team Builder Leadership Institute, come to our site. It's theteambuilderadrc.com, and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you.